What's going on, everybody? Welcome. My name is Chris, aka RumblePack92, and you are watching Shared Screens. We just got a regular-ass podcast today, and I love it. Joining me, as always, some of my favorite hosts in the world. We got some other Josh and Alec Bobko. How are you boys doing today?
Howdy. They're doing well on a good Sunday. Oh, yeah.
It's been a week, but we're here.
It's been a week, dude. It's been a week. It's been a weekend. It's been a month. It's
been a year, dude.
It's been a year.
July is just going to be that month where we just exhale and just chill.
Yeah, because you are all watching the Shared Screens podcast, the show where we all get together and we just talk about the things that we want to talk about, the stuff we want to be. It's the one time every month that we all actually get to spend some time together and just hang out. We're all so busy we had to make a show to just be able to hang out with each other. God damn it.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
And so you
said that's the case.
So we are recording this on June 25th, and if you've been keeping up with what we've been doing, obviously June is video games time. You know, we had Summer Games Fest, you had the Xbox Showcase, you had Capcom's wet fart of a video. There was just a lot going on. Ubisoft Forward, and then immediately following that, what we're here to talk about today is, of course, we put on a Street Fighter 6 tournament that we called the Shared Screens Smackdown, and so we thought we'd get together and kind of have a post-op breakdown, right? Just kind of talk about what that experience was like, how it went, the rights and wrongs, and also just I'm so tired. Oh my god!
Or how SmackDown came into fruition too.
Yeah, because it was something that we pitched a long time ago.
Oh yeah, we had that logo.
We've been sitting on that logo for over a year. For over a year.
Originally,
in fact, hold on. I bet you I can. Let me do some.
Because
some digging and I can figure out
while you're looking. Because originally we pitched this, we were gonna do this was back when Halo Infinite was somewhat still hot.
It was still hot. So I want to try and find. Yeah, no, it was still hot. So the inspiration, as so many things in my content life do, it's like all signs point towards Snowbike Mike, right? It's if you're watching this, don't know who Snowbike Mike is. He's a part of the main cast of Kind of Funny. He runs the X cast over there. At the time, you know, he was just kind of like one of their friends doing his own thing over on Twitch. If you don't, go follow Snowbike Mike on Twitch. He's a really, really fun dude. And I found it on November 25th of 2021. We've had this logo almost 2 years.
Oh my gosh.
Almost 2 years.
I didn't know we had it that long.
On November 25th, Snowbike Mike put together a Halo Infinite tournament that he hosted and streamed on his Twitch channel. And there is a VOD that exists on his YouTube channel, which was how I found out.
Very good watch.
Where it uploaded. Didn't do too bad. Myself, I think all three of us were in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's not talk about my team.
I believe all three of us were in it. All on different teams, I might add.
Oh yeah.
And I had kind of come to the other boys after watching that because, you know, big Halo fan. I was like, hey, what if we did something like that on Shared Screens, and we tossed around some ideas for names and stuff, right? We settled on the Shared Screens Smackdown, the Triple S. Mm-hmm. And we got about one day into what it would take to run a Halo tournament on the back end, and we're like, yeah, this isn't possible for us to do.
Not that it wasn't not even that, because I got assets together, and then we ran a test, and it went okay. Like, it wasn't as nearly as smooth as, you know, Snowbike Mike's, but we're gonna have able to get it to work.
Mm-hmm. And so I guess that's where I want to
moving parts.
Yeah. And that's where I want to come up with this, because I've been a hater of this idea for the longest time, simply because I was like, okay, we all competed in the tournament. Can't we just have that, you know, Can't we just be
Mhm.
grateful that we even got the
That we
opportunity
were
to
there.
be
Mhm.
asked and
Yeah.
joined? Like, why do we have to now ride that high and then go put on something lesser than? It feels
Yeah.
like had we had done it
Mhm.
at the time, had we full fired and sent it, I thought it would have looked so fucking bad. It would have been like, oh, we're just copying, right? We're like asking to,
Yeah.
copy the homework, and we're just putting together a lesser than show. We're putting on the great value brand. It's no
It's the
offense to
it's the it's
Mitch. We
the it's the
love great
Walmart brand
value.
tournament, yeah.
Yeah. And then we did the test run, and then we all kind of went away for the holidays, and Halo Infinite kind of just
Fell
died.
off hard.
It
Fell off
fell
real
off
hard.
hard, and so then some more
Real
time
hard.
had passed, and we're like, okay, well, when are we going to do this, right? And I remember being like, okay, well, their
Like,
first
what if we
New
official
did
like
season.
season
Yeah.
2 drops in March, right? Like, let's do it around then. Season 2 came and went. All our homies didn't get back on Halo Infinite. Like, it was just gone. And so then this was like put on the bookend. There was Multiverses, which we just did a stream of, but
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
that was going to be a SmackDown thing for a hot minute. And
We
then
We played with the
we've
idea of
had so many
multiverses.
ideas of
yeah,
different SmackDown like tournament ideas.
Yeah,
Since
yeah.
Halo never worked
After
out.
Halo looked like it wasn't going to work, we were just kind of like, okay, well, what else can we apply this
yeah,
to? And
and
we
then
did that for like a year.
Oh
Like
yeah.
and
all of like
then
2022, we were just like, what if we did this for SmackDown? And there's always some reason
right.
that we couldn't or
And I
wouldn't.
remember being in 2023, right? Because like before, I wanted to just be like, hey, I don't think we should do this. I had long ass fucking Discord messages, fucking typed up being like, I don't think this is a good idea. And it was gonna be get brought up in meetings, and I was like,
He's
I don't
just
want to
sitting there.
push
He's
back.
waiting for
Like,
the opportune
just
moment, dude.
well, I don't know how to like convey this. Like, I just don't think
Right.
the Halo version of this is the best idea. And then I
Yeah.
remember being here in 2023, a year and a half later, and Chris is like, I got an idea for Shared Screens Smackdown. And I was like, I was gonna make fucking a Mean Girls meme, just being like, stop trying to make Shared
Stop
Screen
making
Smackdown
SmackDown
a
happen. It's
thing.
not going to happen.
It's not gonna happen, right? And I had I had this
Oh shit,
little
that's funny.
devil on my
Like, I don't
shoulder
think
being
that's
like,
funny.
post it, right? Little devil on my
That's
shoulder being
real
like,
funny.
post it. Little angel on my shoulder being like, don't post it. And
Mhm.
and that devil is Sora, and that Woody, or that angel is Woody being like, hold on, let him cook. And he,
Mhm.
by God, did Chris cook? All right, like we came back. We did, y'all put on SmackDown for Street Fighter 6. I thought it was awesome, and I thought it was unique because no one else in our space had done that, right? People had either reviewed it or done their
Nobody else
own
was doing
personal
fighting game
streams.
tournaments. Yeah.
No one had put on a tournament, and that's where because I didn't want to do the Halo version because I thought we were just copying.
Mhm.
So to come
Yeah.
out and do something unique in the space, I thought was incredible, and I hope we get to do it again, and I can't wait to see what we do next, and maybe even be involved in the second coming. So I'm very proud of you boys.
Well, thank
I'm
you.
very
Thank
proud of
you.
Yeah, thank you
It,
very much because we worked
to
really,
come
really,
there.
really, really hard on
Yeah.
it, and like to kind of like go back to it is we did that first test, and while we were doing it, it was like, oh yeah, this could work. And then I remember watching the footage back with Alec, and I was like, I don't like it. I
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
like,
I
it
remember getting
doesn't.
that text.
I was
I
like,
remember
it
getting that
doesn't.
text.
Yeah, we sat. I watched it. I was like, okay, well, let's see what we can iron out. And he sent me the footage, and I texted Al. I was like, I'm gonna be honest, dude, it's ugly.
Mhm.
I was like, it just doesn't look good. And so like the next step that we tried to do was like, okay, well, how can we streamline it? And we spent so much time trying to figure that out. But that by the time that we'd even have like some solutions, Halo was already like it had already passed, right? Like it was
Yeah.
only it was
Mhm.
the hardcore people left. Like we weren't going to get casuals interested in watching a Halo tournament at that point.
Mhm.
And so yeah, that was when it went on the back burner. I was like, okay, well, how can we retool SmackDown like for something else? And as as much as I wasn't willing to let the Halo idea die, I tried to come up with like some ways to like pre-record matches so we can make them look nicer instead of having it and then just putting it on like it was a live thing, similar to the way that Kind of Funny does their wrestling stuff, right? The KFW or like all of these other things. But like overall, it was just like they were still just the issue with a first person shooter is like that there's so moving parts and only like 3 of us that were going to be like running the thing to begin with, right? Like it just became like an organizational problem. There's a manpower issue.
Because also a technological issue, because I think they were using vMix for their tournament, which basically they have one person that can get all these different feeds. Whereas me, it's like
it's a multicam. They have a multicam solution. Is the idea.
vMix is way over my head. Like I started looking into it. I'm like, it's like having to get into your router, get into firewall settings, and like all this for port forwarding and all that whatever nonsense. I'm like, I saw that. I'm like, no, we can't do that. So I think we ended up what we did for the test was this is for Halo 2, not Street Fighter. I think Chance was in game actually getting the gameplay footage and was screen sharing to Chris and then I was capturing that footage, putting it on stream or in the OBS recording at the time, and then Chris was commentating over that. So it was a lot of moving parts.
It was just too much, and because like the broadcast, like the thing that was going to go out was a Discord screen capture,
a stream of a stream.
I was just like it's so muddy. Like they're tiny, like the quality just dips all the time, and I was just like
it's like watching like when you see a meme that's like a screen recording of a screen recording and there's like 2 different like trademarks over it. It's just low quality.
It was like watching a fucking like bootleg movie of somebody like filming a part of a movie in their phone that they
literally all the subtitles were in Korean for some reason.
Exactly. It's just like I don't know. It's people constantly walking in front of the dude like to go get popcorn and shit. So you just miss part. That was how I saw the movie Red. Funny enough, my grandfather had this fucking bootleg copy of Red, and I just remember it because like the person next to whoever was recording it like wouldn't shut the fuck up. So I kept talking over the movie and getting up and would like cross in front of the camera all the time. It's so funny. But I mean that was just what that Halo test originally looked like, and so. From there,
good because that was coming from my
assets were great. PC. Assets were great. And so SmackDown kind of got put on the back burner for a bit. It was like maybe one day we'll eventually find something that this can apply to, because we tried the Halo thing for a while and it just it wasn't going anywhere. And I do agree also with the thing is like it would have just looked like a cheap copy of Mike's already too. And so Street Fighter 6 gets announced after I think it was CEO last year. It would have been around this time last year. And I've been a fighting game guy like my entire life. Mortal Kombat was on Super Nintendo was genuinely like one of the first games I ever played. And in college, I got really into competitive fighting games, like attending tournaments and stuff, and doing all that sort of thing. And a buddy of mine even acts as like he's one of the biggest like local Smash Bros. TOs tournament organizers. I've competed in some Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat stuff, lots of Smash Brothers stuff, and I had a good idea of the resources required to put on a tournament for that, right? Which isn't a lot, and it was kind of like that light bulb hit. Right. To where I was like, hey, there's a new fighting game that's coming out. We have this SmackDown idea. We would need maybe 3 people to be in it, because in order to broadcast a fighting game, all you need is somebody in the lobby. Right. There needs to just be one camera person that can be in there because it's 1v1.
Yeah.
Like we just need like whoever's broadcasting it to just be in the private lobby, because good fighting games have private lobbies.
Absolutely.
And then we can screen share that to whoever wants to commentate, and then that's
it.
Those are the moving parts, right? That's the broadcast, and so
just there to help corral people.
Yeah, and then it was after that I was like, okay, well, we need somebody to communicate with the players so that way they know they're on and that sort of thing too. So that way they don't have to watch the stream and we get lots of delays. But like it was one of those things where I was like, it's doable, right? That was us. And so I brought it to you guys. I believe you two were the first people that I told. And I was just like, what if we did this instead? Yeah. And Alec was like, yeah, I think I can do that.
way more manageable than the Halo was going to be.
Way more manageable. Way more manageable. And so, go ahead, Al.
Oh, I was gonna be like, yeah. At that
Hey,
point, like so much time had passed. I was like, we're in a different genre. No one else is doing it. Like, fucking sender. You know, I'm not gonna get Street Fighter 6. I have no fucking beef in this. No hands in the
No skin in this game.
There's no skin in the game. Just cook. You know, let like fire. Just
like
go for it.
Yeah. Yeah, and what was cool, and I guess that really wasn't something I thought about until you brought it up earlier, Josh. Is that it's like, yeah, we don't have anyone else that kind of like in our space that was putting on fighting game tournaments. We had friends who were playing the game.
Yeah, 100%. Like people that were looking forward to it, that were like, you know, probably playing it multiplayer by themselves, right? And so to get people together and be the host of it, like, and I honestly didn't even notice this till like day of comes and like you guys are like, hey, you know, retweet the tweet, right, and stuff like that. And I was like scrolling the feeds, I was like, oh, this is my feed right now is dominated by, you know, all the homies who are participating, saying they're participating, and I have not seen anyone else put this on, you know, at least in our space, right? Like, so that's where I was like, we really stood out amongst the rest, and
it was really cool to be able to do it like so close to the game's release too, because we did it 2 weeks after the game came out, because it came out on a Friday. Initially, I wanted to do it 1 week of, and I as I was like reaching out to people who I thought might be interested, literally everyone that I reached out to was like, I can't do the Saturday after, and I went, okay, 2 weeks then.
Well, that was also the other reason we did 2 weeks was because that weekend in between was Summer Games Fest and Xbox conference.
Oh shit, yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Oh yeah,
yeah, it was.
Key 3.
Oh yeah, Key 3 was that weekend. Yeah. So it worked out nicely, especially because like not only was that happening, but like everyone that I reached out to, when I was just kind of like poking, I was like, I think this would be a cool idea, but I wasn't sure how many of our friends that I knew would be interested in doing the game. And so I was like, for the first one, it's like I want to keep it small, just so that it's easy for us to organize. And I would like to, you know, kind of have it with people that we know and are cool with, and just kind of have it like be this fun thing, especially since it was like almost, even though it was a live thing, it did almost feel like a trial run. It was like, can we put on a production like this, on this platform here, right? And so about a month and a half before the game released was when I started reaching out to people that I thought would be interested in playing, which was one of my old roommates, my buddy Sam, who I was like, hey, we're thinking about doing it this day. And he said, no. And I went, okay, well, what about next week? And he goes, I will be in Ireland. I was like, okay, so you're just not in the tournament. Motherfuckers in Richmond today, I might add. He went to the pub. It's very cool. I hit up Bo as well, because I know he's a fighting game guy. But there's a point where I'd written down a bunch of names. I had Bo and Reaper's Pass because they played in the beta with us. And I was like, these guys are in, like, for sure. And I was like, and I know my boy DJ Chris, he's gonna pick that up. He's gonna be there. That dude is about the fighting game life. He'll be there. And then I went, I need like 4 more people, and I don't fucking know who else is gonna be picking the game up or not. So I spent like a week and a half just asking around.
That point too is like literally anytime I saw somebody even mention the game, I like sent their like Twitter to Chris or like the Discord.
Like, yeah, this person's talking about Street Fighter. This person's about to talk to a Street Fighter. Go ask. And so we got lucky to where I was like, okay, I think Phil Woodward is interesting, because I remember him doing a bunch of like logo treatments for Street Fighter 6 back when they announced that, because the logo was ugly as hell when they first announced it.
The phone notification.
Yeah, the iPhone notification logo. And so I remember him like doing logo treatments for that. He'd even made a Rumble Pack one that I never used because I stopped streaming like right before that game got announced. I should find that. I still have it somewhere. It was really cool, and he's really good. He's also the one who designed the SmackDown logo. I might add, Phil Woodward is. I remember at one point
he's great he's done a lot of our logos here at Shared Screens.
Yeah, we love him.
He even messaged me like 2 months, like about a week or two after we had decided we can't do the Halo one. He's like, are you guys ever putting this on? And I went, I don't know. I don't know, dude. He's like, I didn't see it. He's like, I haven't seen this logo pop up anywhere. He's like, that I designed. I was like, I don't even know if we're fucking doing the thing anymore.
Yeah.
Well, it's really funny you mentioned that. Like, I think because like this, I guess fast forwarding a bit. Like after the tournament was done, I think all the participants and us, like, we just hung out and played Street Fighter for like the next 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
After the tournament.
Yeah.
And even Phil in there, like, was just saying, like, hey, glad you guys got to finally use that logo.
Yeah. He hit me up like a month after he designed it. He's like, I haven't seen this anywhere. Like, did you not like it? I was like, I don't know if we're doing the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got Reaper Bo, Phil. I hit up Corey Cudney after I saw him, like, just kind of mention in passing, like, him being excited for Street Fighter, and I went, fuck yeah, I love Corey. Let's get Corey in here. I'm sure he'd be he'd be a good one. And then I made a shot in the dark, right? I decided there was going to be one point where I shot my shot, and I was like, Khalif Adams follows me on Twitter. I was like, I know he's a fighting game guy, or at least a Mortal Kombat guy. I was like,
right.
I bet you he's going to pick up Street Fighter. So like, let me just ask. Let's see if he does. You know what I mean? And so I was like, hey, doing this little thing, maybe you'd be interested. Whatever. And he goes, yeah, this sounds dope. I'd love to be a part of it. And I was like,
I remember getting that text. Like, it was all caps and everything.
I was like, we got Kyle, we got him.
Yeah.
And so yeah, him being a part of it was really cool because when we finally we'd done our test, we had all our assets together and everything. I was like, okay, we're gonna announce it on this day. Like, Chance made this really cool hype trailer for us, and I spent a couple days like putting together a couple like promo images that we'd be able to put out on Twitter, like in the days leading up to it. I had one that I designed to be like a traditional like FGC fighting game tournament announcement. A lot of times you get like flyers for them, right? That'll show you like where it's streaming, what time, what game, all that stuff. I was like, I wanted this to be as close to a genuine FGC tournament as we were able to put on. And so because it was small and basically an invitational, I also had one like with like the Twitter profile photos of all of the people that were in it as well, because we're lucky enough to know a bunch of people that are pretty well known throughout a bunch of different communities. And so I was like, I'm gonna show this off. We got like 6 really, really cool people that are involved with this, and I wanted to make sure that one, they felt recognized and being able to kind of be put on that stage, but also like I wanted to make sure that people know that they're seeing that a lot of these people are content creators or known elsewhere, and it was really, really, I'm really, really thankful that we got who we did to be a part of it. And so I put all these images together. I put that out there, and then we finally made the announcement, right? Like, genuinely, we'd been working on stuff for a month. Alec and I are texting every single day.
Yeah,
talking about things putting up. I'm genuinely like 4.5 weeks. Alec and I are talking every single day about okay, what if we do this, or how's this asset look, or test this and get in the game. Like, we started planning it before the game came out, and so the game came out. We had like 2 weeks to make sure that the lobbies would work, that we had to know that we were able to maneuver around them, that we could get all the people in there, that
turn the right settings on and off.
Yeah, I mean,
because there's a setting, it's on by default, because when you're spectating, it'll do like a quick fast forward through the fight to catch you up.
Yeah. If you don't start spectating like right as the game starts, it'll fast forward to get you to where the game is. And usually like you start spectating right when the game starts, but you have to load in a bit. So you usually miss like the first like 20-30 seconds of the match as it catches up. It's a setting you can turn off.
Right.
And so we spent like a couple of days like trying to figure out like what I was like, how do we get around that? Or are we just going to miss the beginning? And then finally Alec was like, I found it. There's you like, you can turn it off. And I was like, yes!
Because this is something that we were even joking about after the tournament, just how many menus Street Fighter 6 has.
It's so bad.
And you have to be on the full main menu, but like where you can choose between the 3 different modes. And in the options, there's a setting in there called other settings. And that's where you can turn off the fast forwarding.
If you haven't played Street Fighter, there are menus that you can only access when you're in a mode with your avatar, and some of some of those features are very important. So if you wanted to do something outside of that, you have to load up a fucking one of the modes where you're running around as your avatar just to access it. There's a start menu, and then there's also essentially like context-based menus, whether you're in the battle hub or the fighting ground.
But that menu was, you had to be basically before you even entered any of those modes. It was only accessible in like the main menu.
And so all like 5 of these different menus all have different functions. And so trying to figure out where fucking anything is, if you just want to adjust one setting, it basically requires you to go out to the main menu and start pressing buttons until you can find it.
Yep.
It's the only gripe I have of Street Fighter 6 is that the menus are horrible. And so realizing that after the game came out, I was like, we have 2 weeks to get into this game and make sure that we have all the settings where we know before this game comes out.
And one of those weeks was Key 3. So we basically had 1 week.
Yeah, when we're cranking video after video out.
Plus, not only to mention too, we haven't pimped it yet. There's also a whole ass fucking Street Fighter 6 review going up in the process too,
which we were on.
Which y'all were doing and cooking in the meantime too. Go watch that if you haven't already. But fuck, like you guys are going all in on this.
Like within a span of a week. So like before in the lead up, I had gotten the assets kind of. Like, my plan was to get the assets done before all that not E3 stuff. Key 3, yeah. So I got that assets done, recorded and edited Street Fighter 6, and then there's a SSP that went up between all those reaction videos. We did the Summer Games Fest kickoff reaction, or Summer Games Fest kickoff recap podcast.
Recap.
Then we reacted to Xbox and the Starfield Direct.
Yep.
And then we did the
Which all had
Ubisoft and
multiple
Capcom.
videos, by the way. Because we did social and podcast.
And then that Monday we did the Ubisoft and Capcom recap.
Yep.
And edited that. So in my hand, like just full length videos, not even counting the 7 to 10 shorts we had.
Yep.
That's 7 videos, 7 full length videos I helped record and edit.
While we're still planning the tournament at the same time.
100%.
And figuring that out. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why Alec, absolute VIP of shared screens. Fucking, we say guy in the chair. There's no shared screens without Alec, 100%. And I'm very proud of him and all the work he puts in. And yeah, absolute fucking goat here.
We'll get there after we're done talking about like the actual SmackDown. But like I literally mentioned after, it's like I need a break.
Yeah.
So, like Alec and I both at the same time, like we finished this and we were just like, we're taking a week off. Like, it's like I'm not doing anything else because like that's an issue. It was podcast edits. It was tournament organizing, his assets, it's stream testing, it's in game time, right? It was a full month of constantly working on other stuff on top of also doing all the tournament things on top of that. Like, I cannot stress how busy we were on top of on everything, and then like personally on top of that too, like at my job, June is our busy time, like on top of everything else, and so for like 3 weeks, and Bernie's a sleeper. I'd get here to corroborate this, right? I would go to work, I would come home, I would either record something for content or I would be working on SmackDown, and I wasn't doing anything else. Like that was all I did.
Yep. Same.
So it's like if the reason that we talk about this because we're so proud of it is because we spent so much time where we're working on SmackDown, so much effort went into it, and so I'm happy it went as well as it did. But I think at this point it's day of, man. More nervous than I've ever been in my life.
Oh yeah. I barely slept the night before. Barely slept that night.
Dude, the night before came, and it was like suddenly I was just like, I'm about to host a fucking Street Fighter tournament tomorrow, and I was like, I've never done this. What am I doing?
And see, I was like that, but on the tech side of things, because I'm like, 99% of our stuff is, our streams have gone great, but we've never hosted a tournament before.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I knew what I needed to do, but it's just the fact of like, I don't know. It was going to be rough.
Yeah, so I'm like nervous out of my mind. I'm staying up late. I even fired a text off to the voice note Mike. I was like, dude, you have commentating experience. Like, help me. And he gave me some very, very kind words of encouragement. But I
So,
mean,
and he
yeah,
said
it
that
was.
to me too as well. And
I said
honestly,
it
like,
to Alan Chance. I was like, keep this in mind. I know we're all nervous going into this. Like, let's.
oh, actually, that's a thing too. I just said we haven't mentioned, but Chance was also the other person that helped us. He was that third person, kind of helped corralling people.
Yeah, the boy Chance Carter was our gateway to the players to make sure that people were where they needed to be when they needed to be.
Because yeah, otherwise we would have
fired off the
had way
checks.
more breaks.
Yeah, it would have been much
between
harder.
matches.
It would have been much harder without
Like,
Chance, and he kept it going smooth.
Yeah, we could have done it, but it would have been way more difficult.
And the tournament would have been longer because we'd have had to cut away in between every single match. We would have to go in. We'd have to figure out a bunch of different logistics and stuff. Like it was a whole thing. It would have been it would have been a much longer and much tougher production without Chance there. And he was like, he's like, do I even need to buy the game? I was like, no, honestly, like you just go into jump between these chats, like let the players know when to start. We'll let you know when we're ready on our side. And he was there to kind of signal that all off, and he did an excellent job with that. He made it run really, really well.
Yeah.
Speaking of running really well, though, so we had our first match. It was awesome. First match ends. OBS dies.
Oh yeah. So we go into our intermission. I forget to mute, so like the chat like kind of says something.
Yeah, we're doing like behind the scenes stuff, and Billy's in chat, and he's like, "Hey, we can hear you."
Yeah.
Like, what?
Next time I look to go mute stuff, and because I have my stream deck going, so I was able to hit that at least and mute us. And then next time I like look up and I look at OBS, I just see because we have a video looping background kind of thing. And
yeah, we had like an intermission video with a bunch of our social clips put together.
Well,
so
there
was something being streamed. Like, yeah.
Well, but I noticed that the looping video background, like that we have like kind of behind the podcast that you can see here. Yeah. That that was not moving at all.
Uh-oh.
So that's why that was kind of first ticked me out or notified me that, hey, something's not working right.
Yeah, something's up.
Yeah.
So I looked at and the video is still going, but it's not moving for me. I can still hear it because I had the mute or the so that way I could hear it.
Yeah, the output
just to know that's running. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So I could hear you guys. I'm hearing Josh's voice in my head because that was like I just essentially for that intermission video, I just put a bunch of our social vids together. And next thing I know, OBS just goes that like if you use a Windows PC, how when something's not responding, it kind of goes to that like frosted glass white.
Yeah.
When it's not responding, and it just does that. I'm just sitting here like freaking out, like more than I'm like.
So I'm on the other side. I was like, okay, kill it. Well, I was like, I'll let chat know that something's up. Just kill it, get it back up as soon as possible. And I was like, breathe.
OBS just because it just hard crashed.
Yeah,
like nothing, and it did this. Funnily enough, it did this before we actually started streaming, like when I was getting things set up. And looking back at it now, I think it had something to do with that bracket scene that I had. It just did not like having the bracket window capture and like
the Discord one at the same time.
It did not like that for whatever reason.
Interesting.
Because both times I switched to that, I think that's what messed it up.
Yeah, I was curious as to whether it would be that or just like having like the video kind of running in the background the whole time. So yeah, but I was like, but we've done that before. Was the thing. But eventually, Al gets back up and he's like.
So real quick before we move on from that.
Yeah.
So for those of you that don't know, streaming to YouTube is not the same as Twitch.
No.
Because Twitch, you can just hit the button to go live. Yep. And you don't have because it'll use your settings from the last stream. YouTube is very different because YouTube is actual. Well, not even that, but it's a whole, like, YouTube's a whole video platform. It's not just a streaming site. So you have to put in like the thumbnail, the title, the description, all this other stuff like you would do with a video.
So when a stream dies, you're essentially generating a new stream link, like and a new video every time. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to learn all that on the fly because none of our other streams had done that before.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm like kind of frantically like, okay, how do I get a new stream going real quick? Like,
and to Al's credit, he did it in like 3 minutes. Like he was fucking on it.
Nice.
He was cranking it in recent memory.
Like I was thinking back on it, and I was like, yeah, OBS died, but it didn't take very long to get back up.
Right.
No.
I like really, it was like, I'm killing the video assets. I think that might be what the problem is. And I was like, okay, yeah, we just won't have like the player names and round number like on the stream. I was like, I would rather go no assets. Like it's still clean gameplay. I'd rather do that than just be like, okay, no more tournament.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we get it fired back up, and it's smooth as right as rain from there on out, right? Yep. Like it all goes super well. We get a lot of really, really great, like really genuinely hype tournament moments, right? Like that first the winners finals match between DJ Chris V and Khalif Adams was fucking legendary. It was like it was Goku and Vegeta at the height of their power.
Before that though, like Bo, he got a perfect KO.
Bo got 2 perfects. He got 2 perfect rounds. He was the only one to get perfects, and he got 2 of them.
Yeah.
like that. Like everyone played really well. It was super entertaining. So some people, I think you think of like, oh, I'm gonna watch like an amateur fighting game tournament, and like it. Some people might expect that to not be very exciting. Shit was exciting. Right. Like that that tournament popped off, and you can watch all of it right here on YouTube. They get saved as a VOD. It's just down there. Watch Shared Screens Smackdown Part 2. Because the first one is only the first match.
Still there. You can still see that first match.
Yeah, you can still see game 1.
And what I'm very happy about, it cuts off before you can hear any of us freak out. So.
It was already dead by that point. It was already gone. A fun fact about that though too, it's like because it generates another stream. Like I had the chat open like in a pop out window, and about halfway into the tournament after we'd restarted, it occurred to me, I was like, I've been watching the wrong fucking chat this whole time. Quiet. And so I spent like 45 minutes in our tournament just being like, nobody's watching. And then then I opened the other one. I was like, oh shit, there's so many people in here. It's like they've all been here this whole time, and I had no idea.
Yep.
Chris isn't talking to them whatsoever or responding to the chats.
Yeah, you'll notice if you pull up part 2, like there's just a point where I kind of stopped interacting with chat because I was just watching the wrong one, and it didn't occur to me that I had to reload it. I had to go hit the new link, and so there's a point where I call it out in the commentary. I was like, "I'm so sorry, I've been watching the wrong one this whole time." It was a really, really fun experience overall. Kind of like commentating, like shoutcasting, like fighting games in particular has always been something that I've wanted to get in on, and like we said at the beginning, like the original idea was for Halo, and I love that, and would still be interested in doing something like that. But like for me personally. Like I love fighting games so much, and this was just a really cool kind of like opportunity to what is it that Tim Geddes says about Kind of Funny all the time? He's like, we just use this as wish fulfillment sometimes, right? Like to kind of come of it, and that was kind of the moment for me to where I was able to kind of be like, hey, I've always wanted to do something like this, and I was like, and I think we can pull that off here, and I got to do that. I've watched part of the tournament back, and I don't think I'll ever watch it again. I have plenty of stuff to work on commentary. I'm pretty happy with it overall first time. And I am interested in doing it more. But boy, is it rough. And Alec, I love you. Thank you so much for he took like a really good clip out of one of Chris and Khalif's matches and put it up, and he was like,
for context.
That was the double drive impact, where they both hit it at the same time. So there's
a mechanic where you can basically hit this button, and it kind of has a little armor, so you can get some hits or a lot of armor, and you can dish out some good damage. Well, they both did it at the exact same time, and so instead of because like what happens is
instead of one winning out over the other, if you do it at the same time, turns out they just bounce off each other, and it resets you, and it happened mid tournament. At the same time.
This was in the grand, or was it the grand finals, or was it the one before?
It was winners finals. Yeah.
So essentially, if I think it was DJ Chris, if he won that round, he won the tournament.
No, it was winners finals. It wasn't grand finals. It was.
Gotcha.
It was determining who was going to grand finals.
Gotcha. But yeah, there was
and
just
they hit it
insane
mid tournament,
moment.
and like everyone pops off, and so yeah, that was the match that we referred to as like Goku versus Vegeta, like at the height of their power.
Oh
Like
yeah,
these dudes
and
were on something else.
after the tournament, I had to go back after that couple hours of playing Street Fighter with everybody.
Yeah.
I had to go and clip that out before I forgot where that was, because I knew I wasn't gonna be remembering where that was or going back and editing things after that day for a while. So
yeah. And so it was really nice. Thank you very much for clipping that out and putting that out there. And in the like on Instagram and Twitter, like Alec was very, very kind and said, check out like Rumble Pack, absolutely killing it on commentary. And I pull it up and I watch it, and the first thing out of my mouth, I get the name of the fucking tournament wrong. So I was like, God damn it!
It's the commentary, so I'm like, because that was more for the tournament overall.
Yeah, no, and I appreciated that, but it was just so funny. It was like, kills it on commentary. Gets the name of his own tournament wrong.
Yeah.
Like, cool.
I was about to say Street Fighter Smackdown. Not Shared Screens
I
Smackdown.
said Street Fighter Smackdown, and I went, wait a minute.
But I watched that clip and I was like, oh, he fumbled, but like, what a recovery of that. In terms of being like, oh, I almost said that into, yeah. And so I was like, you fumbled, but you caught it back, and you fucking.
It's like the one where it's like you see it like,
oh yeah,
we got it. You're going forward. Absolutely.
And like first time doing that too. I think part of just kind of the difficulty is like as a price with ADHD. It's like there are times where like my brain like overfires, and I just kind of like stop, and so I stutter a lot during that, and so it'll just kind of like be a thing that I do more and work on and get better at. Right, just kind of determine like what to comment on, what to react to, like those sorts of things, but for a first time, I'm pretty happy with it. Even if because what I was watching in the setup that we had and what was going out was I was watching a screen share of the game from Alec, which means that whereas what stream got was a direct feed of the game. So my commentary is a couple seconds behind what's actually happening in the game, just due to like essentially me seeing something a few seconds later than what's going out. But I
still lined up pretty well.
I spent a lot of time though also watching other fighting game tournaments, and again, like to prepare for it and kind of like be able to touch on like some of the things that the commentators usually do and all of that. And unlike like most sports or even like other esports, like fighting games kind of have a different thing. And so I think it fit the vibe well, and I was able to kind of like get it about where I wanted to. But yeah, overall, I think it was a really cool thing that we got to put on and do, and it was so fun to do something different that we don't ever do here before, right?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't a reaction.
And nobody in our sphere is really doing that either.
Yeah. Like we didn't have any friends doing this. It's not the kind of content that we usually make. We were sailing into uncharted territory, and that was really fun and scary, but so gratifying to pull off and just see us. I think in particular like how well it was kind of received.
It was. Yeah.
Like the announcement was super cool, just to like see a bunch of people being like, "Oh shit, this is really neat." And because like I said earlier, like we were really really lucky to get the people that we did, right? And
yeah.
So, like, we had our boy Hoodie being like, "Oh shit, Phil's in this. Let's go, Phil!" You know, and Khalif Adams, retweeting it, and I see a bunch of people in there being like, "Oh, this looks really cool," and he was so nice too, and gave us like a bunch of retweets like during and after the tournament and stuff. And shout out everybody that was involved with it. Like, they were all really really great and put on a really good show, and I'm so happy that we were able to get who we did. And yeah, we all spent like 2 hours after the tournament just playing more Street Fighter, just hanging out. It was a really really cool experience, and I'm glad we got to do it. And if you guys would want to see us do something like that again, let us know. I'd be more than happy to continue doing that. And I don't know
maybe
if
not around
if we
E3 time.
Maybe please not around E3 time ever again. Dear God. If you guys want to see more Street Fighter in particular, or if you'd like to see us branch out to other games, let us know. I think just in terms of like the sort of production we can put on, I want to keep it within the fighting game sphere. Just because that's the easiest thing to do. It's also, I like fighting games. I'm personally interested in that sort of thing. So maybe we go do Mortal Kombat when that comes out or something, or we just keep up Street Fighter, because Street Fighter 6 is like the best fighting game I think I've ever played.
Right. It's got some legs to it. Yeah. I was gonna ask that is like, do you think we, how far do we take this thing? Do you think we stay in the fighting game realm? Do we ever try to go back to Halo? Do we try to do something in Fortnite, or like what other
I think it would
game
be fun to do
would you
more.
guys like to see?
Yeah, as far as like what the future of SmackDown is, I don't know yet. You know,
Yeah.
we got to the end of the first one, and I was like, I'm gonna take a break because we worked really hard on that, and like
Yeah.
next month we've got our all hands like internal meeting, and maybe we can kind of like poke around and figure out where we want to take that forward. I mean, I'm down to do more Street Fighter. If the audience is down for
Right.
that, then I'd absolutely love to. Same with Mortal Kombat. If
I'm
they want to see stuff like Fortnite or maybe Return to Halo or whatever, you know,
Call of Duty,
maybe we
whatever's popping
start.
off.
Yeah,
X
maybe we
Defiant.
start like taking another look at what we're capable of and what we can do,
Right.
and make another pass at it. X Defiant would be a really good game. Looks rad.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely. I think a fucking obvious answer here is gonna be party animals. Come on,
oh
Shared
yeah,
Screen
right.
Yeah.
Smackdown party animals tournament.
Absolutely, dude.
Dude,
That'd be so
fucking
hype. Are you
go.
kidding me?
Yeah.
Uh, and so yeah, I hope that you guys liked it because we spent a lot of time
Yeah.
and effort on
I
it
think
in like the alongside like the busiest season that we typically have like on this channel,
Mhm. Well,
both here and outside.
yeah, like I think Chris, you and I were up like that night till like 2 a.m. just texting back and forth. Like,
Yeah. I got
Bruce
drunk.
got pissed drunk, and
I
was
got
even
drunk,
He's
dude.
like, "Dude, let me tell you how great
I
this shit
was like,
was,
let
man.
me
I
tell you.
love you."
I texted,
Oh,
I
yeah.
fucking messaged and texted everyone I know to let them know how much I fucking love them and how awesome that day was. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's one of the best
Yeah.
fucking days of my life.
It was so wholesome. I loved it.
I mean, aside from OBS crashing, like that I kind of, it was a big downer on my part, just because
It happens,
like it happens, yes, but at the same time, it's like
Yeah,
it just
it
sucks.
happens.
It sucks.
But I mean,
Yeah.
I did. The tournament ended. We played Street Fighter for a bit, and then like my family was like my in laws were all out at like a local barcade, and so I just went out, like we had dinner and we got drinks while we were out and stuff, and then I went home and I killed an entire case of high noons, and I was just I just kind of got to bask in it, like that was something. It was a really special thing because like most of the stuff that we do here aren't ideas that I pitch, right? I'm part of it, and I kind of help shape like a lot of the stuff that we do. But this one was really special to me because it was my baby. I came in with the idea, and Alec made it happen, and it doesn't happen without Alec. I'm the idea man, and Alec's the
I make it work.
workhorse. Yeah. Like it doesn't happen without Alec a chance, and I'm really grateful for you guys for being there and allowing us to be able to do this thing, and I'm really grateful to all of you guys for watching it too. Like the response online was really good. It's gotten a decent amount of views. Like it was so cool to have something fresh and different, and to see people react to it well. On top of that,
Right.
yeah, it ended, and I just went and got drinks, and I just kind of. I just kind of glowed the rest of the day. I was just there. I was like, dude, this feels awesome. And I love it. And yeah, I texted maybe like 20, 30 people to tell them how much I love them and how cool today was. I was just like, let's go. I was riding it. Yeah, I think that's about all I got on kind of the experience of putting SmackDown together. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to touch on?
No, it was awesome.
No,
I loved it.
Cool,
yeah, it was great. Like just real tough on the back end, but we made it work.
We got there.
Yeah.
We got there.
We now know my PC's limits.
You know what? Sometimes you got to find those things out live. You know. I mean, sometimes we discover that while we're in the middle of something. But yeah, awesome. Well, hey, this has been the Shared Screens podcast. If you guys enjoyed any of that, make sure to hit that like and subscribe down there. Please go watch the Shared Screens Smackdown if you haven't already. It'd be weird if you hadn't seen that and then you watch this episode. But like, if you haven't, I mean, go check at least part of it out. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And
we worked hard on it.
Really hard.
Please watch it.
Please. And if you'd like to see us, if you'd like to see us do it again, let us know what like what game. If you want to compete in it. Like I think the next step is maybe we open it up a bit more because we did get a couple people who were like, wait, how do I get in on this? And I was like, I didn't know you owned the game. So
yeah.
Well, hey, thank you guys so much. This has been the Shared Screens podcast. We'll see you around again soon.